My name is Oral Givan. I've been a producer for 17 years in the city of Atlanta, 10 years in Los Angeles. And I'm here today because I'm happy to be part of People TV. And I know that there's a progress. I've seen cable television when it initially started in '85. And I know how the politics of cable television works. And it has brought me to the point as a producer, from a lineman on the pole to a producer now. I am very happy for cable television. I know that things grow. What's important for cable television and what has made cable television so important in my life is because it has been able to go to the community, and the people are being able to be heard, seen, that are not normally being seen on commercial television. That in itself is the part that I'm here to represent. How it gets done, I'm willing to work with that because I know there's a lot of ins and outs on that. But the objective is for the people just be heard and seen that are not normally given that opportunity. That's what People TV does. That's what we do. And I think as far as the solution that the initial question was for this whole agreement is, what can we do about that? And I think it's important, and it hasn't been done, or it has been done, it's been like I said, well, producers of a conscious, calm, harmonious nature has to be sitting at the table to help make the decisions for the interest of the community. When that's done, the problem will be taken care of. The money will appear. Because where there's harmony, where there's peace, you're going to get some results where everybody's going to be satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Karen Adams Anderson. I'm a producer. I've produced my show for 2 years, but I've been a producer, certified producer, since 2000. To answer Ms. Jacobs' question, where do we go from here, more or less? I had to really pray about not pointing blame and everything, but the first thing I want to say is, yeah, the city did procrastinate in filling the board. However, I don't feel as though in the future we should totally rely on the city to fund People TV. I think that the producers need to have a larger role. We should be allowed to use our brains and our contacts to help. Like this room right here will make a beautiful place to have a fundraiser. Hint, hint. But I'm not going to belabor my point, but I just think that we need to restructure and try to move forward and clean house and go from there.
I would just add that definitely going forward, whatever the future model is, I certainly think that it needs to be, at the very least, at least a mix of a public-private partnership. Across the board, even projects that the administration is doing, we are looking at other ways to generate funding besides just depending on public dollars. The economic reality that we find ourselves in today in this country just forces us to have to do that. It is with really grave regrets, because I'm really interested in this conversation, I have to tell you that I do have to leave. But Michael Carswell, who runs City Channel 26 and is my right hand in the Office of Communications, will be here to fill in and to answer any questions, and he'll be coming back to me and letting me know how the discussion went. You can all reach me via email. It's sajacobs@atlantagA.gov. So please, if you want to reach out to me personally, feel free to do so. And my direct office number is 404-330-6558. Again, that's 404-330-6558. Thank you all.
I see you. I just want to put, thank you, Sonji. Thank you so much. I just want to, I like to deal with facts. So I want to put something out so you know what we all are dealing with, and so this can help us guide in moving forward. The budget that People TV had in 2009 was approximately $754,119. That budget went down for 2010 to $436,895. So you know about where you're looking at and what's available right now. What the city has that is available based on the money that's left out of the original agreement with Comcast is about $100,000. So as we begin to change our conversation to moving forward and coming up with remedy, solution, and meeting the objective, I just wanted everybody to have that in the forefront of your mind. And I'm going to come to this table, and then I'll come back to you, sir. Yes, you all. Well, let me get someone. Okay, just right
Quickly,
here.
I just want to do a follow-up and propose that you consider Charlotte's proposals.
We don't have a problem with that. We are going to consider all proposals, but what we needed to do was to get all of the stakeholders, and I said this at the City Utilities meeting last week. The purpose of this meeting was to get all of the stakeholders at the table. I mean, we all have to be clear that there has been, at least from our perspective, there have been rumblings about different groups within your primary group. And so the purpose was to get everybody together. We're not discounting anyone's proposal, okay? And I think you had some people,
Yes.
have you all spoken? I want to get to people that have not talked, so yes, sir.
Yes. There are currently 2 accountabilities for assessing and distributing the financial accountability for the city. Those 2 accountabilities are the Finance Department for the City of Atlanta and the Finance Committee for the City Council. For the 14 existing departments, the city's Finance Committee submits a paper. The city's Finance Department submits a paper to the City Council Finance Committee with money inside the paper about what's going to happen, what's going to be funded. So the recommendation is to have the City Finance Department put at least a $200,000 paper together within 7 working days and submit that to the Finance Committee for the City Council that meets next week, so that the full council in December, the first meeting, can be voted on and have $200,000 be appropriated to fund People TV for the next year. So the recommendation to move the city forward in terms of facts is to have a $200,000 paper come from the City Finance Department to the chairperson of the Finance Committee of the City Council within 7 working days. And my question is, can that be done, and if not, why?
Okay, thank you for that question. Let me answer. First of all, I think we said early on that this is going to be of dual responsibility. So all the stakeholders are here, and this is not just on the city. It's got to be everyone's part. And so in asking for the $200,000, we're going to put that down as an option to look at. The question is, what will the $200,000 cover? So that means we need something from you all. So if we're going into an emergency state, then we would need to know what that is going to cover. That's only fair. I mean, you don't just take $200,000 and throw it out the window. Tell me what it's for. And that's fair. That's an option. I want to make sure, Moesha, you're taking notes. Let that be the first option that we have written down. And we will come back at the end of the meeting to discuss, where we are with all of those. Ms. Moore, I saw you stand up. Okay. All right. I'm coming to him. I'm coming back to you, sir. Yes, sir. Over here. You. Yeah.
My name is John Covington. I'm a producer at People TV. I think that before we begin to we must consider first that we're talking about the people, these are community people. Right. Producers are the community. Produce programs for the community. We'll consider various options for People TV. But what about the community? What the people that People TV produces programs for, the gospel programs, the various shows that people in the community watches. I think that in the progress of trying to come up with a solution, let's also consider the fact that who we produce TV programs for. That's the community that voted for each and every one of the officials that we have. The community, senior citizens who don't have various information about their health care. Senior citizens who don't know who to vote for. Senior citizens are young people. We're talking about people in the community that we must begin to keep People TV on the air to produce programs that would be conducive to their mental and physical health. PPTV is there to entertain, educate, and so I think that in the process of looking at various proposals, we need to take under consideration that if PPTV have $100,000 now, and we've had $500,000 last year, we was given $300,000 the first half of that. We've only come up to a point of $400,000. Then it would take at least another $400,000, if not $800,000, for PPTV to continue to function.
I asked for a proposal. You tell me.
And my proposal is, back again to Charlotte. Let's consider her proposal, because at this point in time, there's no other proposal been put forward. No other proposal has been put forward. We've been given this proposal option over a period of a year. No one has come forward with a proposal except for Charlotte. So I think we need to consider that a little bit more than or else give us another 30 to 60 days
Okay.
to create a proposal.
Okay. And we're here. I have not seen that, but they have looked at that one, and so we'll see what it is, because the bottom line there are three things that are our obstacles right here. I'm coming to you. One is the funding. Two, we talked about the board appointments. The city can deal with that from our end. We will make sure that that is a priority as early as next week, depending on the outcome of this meeting. If we all are agreeing to move forward, we can deal with that, and the funding is the primary source. So I haven't looked at Charlotte's proposal in detail. What I can tell you is as it stands right now today, it can't be status quo. So it can't remain the same, because everybody is under some type of strain, but we are here to move forward. So I would think that because of the 18 days that was referenced, that we may look at moving forward in an emergency state, which means it's with fewer resources until we get it all together.